Immortal Technique, bringing you the truth in the form of hip-hop. From Death Row, this is Mumia Abu Jamal.
We need enough people to have the courage to love the people enough to tell them the truth. Because the sleepwalking is so thick and so deep.
Music and the spoken word, how necessary of a tool do you think it is?
It is the tool. I just love that revolution.
You got to look at your community, and the message that gangster hip-hop is putting out there is not a good one.
Hip-hop brings people that are black, that are white, that are Asian, that are poor, that are rich together, that are Muslim, Christian, Jewish. We bring them all together, and we start realizing we have more things in common than we do that are different.
Don't let a real movement start where Immortal Technique has the minds of young America.
We use a lot of his songs, man. It's like a springboard, to have some discussions and dialogue.
When a teacher teaches, it's like, oh, well, this is boring. You put a song on, it opens a whole different door.
I, for one, very much appreciate the fact that you're making music that's just all about the truth.
You don't have to hang a picture of a dead person from the 60s or 70s on your wall to be revolutionary. There's nothing more revolutionary to me than being a mother, than being a father.
I'm a great-grandmother, okay? I ride with Immortal Technique. I love the truth. I love my children to hear the truth. I let my children hear every word that's on there.
Whenever you got awakened, took this journey, fuck, man, I'm glad you did it.
When you connect to your past, it's a way of showing everybody else that there is a potential path out of this.
If you want to be sovereign, act sovereign.
We make the changes we want to see in the rest of the world, in ourselves first.
What does revolution mean to you?
What goes around comes around. One revolution, you go back to where you began. That's why I consider myself a revolutionary. And we're going from freedom all the way back around to freedom.
I was born during a rebellion against a rampantly corrupt government. When I was 2.5, we left looking for a better life and settled in Harlem.
No era el ambiente más propicio para que se desarrollara nuestro niño como individuo, con un pensamiento crítico, independiente. Tan pronto que pudimos, regresamos a Perú con nuestros hijos para que visitaran no solamente su familia, sino también para que conocieran la realidad del Perú.
Perú es un país minero, hay mucha dinamita acá. Y con la dinamita ponían explosivos y volaban carros, volaban edificios, bastante. Había toque de queda, que quiere decir que a partir de las 12 de la noche ningún carro podía salir por las calles.
Y te arrestaban si te encontraban.
Te arrestaban si te encontraban. Incluso te disparaban y te mataban si te encontraban.
We moved to Harlem in the 80s to get away from violence. So I can't imagine what it must have been like in Peru. Harlem was crime-ridden. There would be homeless people on the corner, but then there would be people freestyling on the corner, boom boxes full of like 17D batteries blasting every type of music. There's graffiti all over the subway, but when I looked at it, I saw art on the subway. Hip-hop took me by the hand and showed me a world beyond my own.
Hip-hop is just a moment, a instant of the black musical tradition, which is rooted at the blues. Now, what is the blues? Ralph Ellison say, the blues is an autobiographical chronicle of personal catastrophe expressed lyrically. So you got catastrophe. Now you see, this is already ironic, because how in America, which is the land of liberty and freedom and equality, you got catastrophe. Slavery, Jim Crow, white supremacy, self-hatred, self-violation, that's the catastrophe. lyrical expression, lyrical response.
Innocence devoured like a chicken spot snack box. Government cocaine cooked into ghetto crack rock. Corrupt cops, false testimony at your arraignment. Check the check, constant struggle to make the payments. Working your whole life wondering where the day went. The subway stays packed like a multicultural slave ship.
And I went to a good school. I just had no direction in my life. And I used to get into fights all the time. I mean, I lived in Harlem, you know? You walked home and people wanted to test you. I wasn't thinking about being politically motivated because I really didn't see how that affected us in the long term of how it was. You know what I mean? I didn't realize what the prison industrial complex was.
I'm a Harlem nigga that's concerned with the future. And if you're in my way, it'll be an honor to shoot ya. I'll brute you with the evil that grows in my people, making them deceitful, cannibalistic and lethal. But I see through the mentality implanted in us, and I educate my fam about who they should trust. Come on. You know what to do, right? New York, hey yo, homicide Harlem.
Come on. Right side. New York in the late 80s and early 90s, there's so many different cultures and paths. You want to make your mark in a place so big. It was no less his than ours, but I think that he felt the drive to stand out fivefold. I had this keyboard at my father's house that I used to practice piano on. I was like, you know what, I want to make a music video. I hollered at my boy, Felipe. We put together this whole video called Dream Rhyme.
I swear that track request because scenario is dope. When I bust around, none of y'all can cope with the bass. This rhyme is raw, I broke your jaw, and now you saw I'm above the law.
I would try to write songs to instrumentals. I would either rip off the radio or steal from a tape or a CD rack somewhere. Years later, Southpaw and Akir had this radio show.
One day while on the radio show, the damn needle broke. We looking at each other like, yo, we gotta do something. Southpaw started beatboxing. He's looking over at me like, do something. So I started freestyling. I don't know, something just clicked.
My natural stature, only zoning when I'm bowling on this Cleopatra. Only after the CD is mastered, the slave to the tools don't wake before noon. Spring in the winter season, fall and summer cold dinner.
Felipe began starting to rap, and these dudes would just go in.
I might be drunk, but I'm lyrically tough. I got a new job eating pussy for Hillary Duff and every other young actress that I seen in the game. Immortal Technique, Rollins, still acting the same.
As a teenager, he was a bastard. If there was a rule to be broken, he found a way to break it.
I was definitely a loose cannon when I was a kid.
Coming back uptown on the train, this motherfucker just looks at me, he goes, yo, let's kick out the windows on the train. We like high and drunk, whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? He goes and grabs the rail on the top of the train and breaks through the window. I'm like, oh shit! Now we just go into every window. Bang, bang! We see the police coming down. They can't find us. Now I'm feeling like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in New York wilding out with my sons, like, word. The tech looks at me like, bitch ass nigga. We both was running like a motherfucker from the cops. So fuck you, Tech, because you was scared too.
My biggest problem at that time was not being able to realize that my actions not only affected me, but that they affected my family as well.
I caught some charges in New York, I caught some charges in PA, I caught some more charges in New York. They started piling up, assault case.
The way I had been fighting my own people, what I thought my sense of honor was, all this was just twisted and it wasn't based on where I needed to be. That entire process was a clear indication that the direction I was headed was not a positive one.
Nunca me imaginé que ibas a terminar en la cárcel. No pienso que el sistema fue justo contigo, mijo. Pero también me pregunto qué otra cosa te hubiera detenido.
Y ese día me sentí así, a donde me ves sentar aquí en el comedor. Y digo, Felipe, ¿qué tiene Felipe entre mí? Dije yo, ¿qué tiene Felipe? Creo que se le ha perdido algo. Llamé a Cecilia. Ay, madrecita, y me contó. Ah, pero va a pasar algo. No va a pasar nada. Se va a ir tranquilo y va a regresar tranquilo.
I knew that I was going to be incarcerated about 3 months before I started my sentence. So I started going through the process of changing things so I could hold on to a piece of myself, hold on to a piece of my life.
You lose everything in there. For people that know that, you lose everything.
It ain't no rite of passage as a man. It's just slavery, plain and simple. And it ain't like, oh, I came out of prison, I'm an OG, I got respect. Really? You ain't got no respect from the white CO when he called you a nigga. Not like, yo, my nigga, no, my nigger. Get in your motherfucking cage and shut the fuck up. And you did it. You did it like it was 1822, and he just said, whoop.
So you the motherfucker they call Immortal Technique. What the fuck make you so special, nigga?
An elder Native American brother, he was like, if you write down your insanity, it can't fight you. You can fight against it, you know what I mean? He said, do your time, don't let your time do you. That's the one we always hear. But I took that to heart, so I was like, yeah, man, give me a pen and a paper. So he brought me the pen and the paper, and I started writing down what will become this joint on Volume 1 called The Prophecy.
I'm not gonna be here to play games, walk the top of the world and leave the Arctic Circle in flames, battle the beast and false prophet depicted in the King James. I give a fuck about your MC name, I don't admire you. Only by dental records will you be identifiable, cause the future is not reliable. Remember when rap was not economically viable?
The warden refused to allow me any books of any controversial nature, so my mom basically forged a note saying that I was majoring in Latin American politics. And because of that, they had to give me a certain amount of books that I wanted, so I chose things about the nature of the CIA, the economic downturn of Latin America. Then I started writing more and more rhymes, and everything, it just became more vicious and more animalistic, and it was like, yeah, yo, and I started battling, I started ripping people down, because everyone wanted to flow, and with me, it was nothing but punchlines, so you could dodge around me, you could Mayweather me all day, but as soon as you get one Tyson, boom, it's over. I say one thing about your mother that hits, I say one thing about your status in the prison, I say one thing about you getting pumped on a lunch line, and it's over.
100 years from now, everyone who's living on this planet will be dead. So it's inconsequential, really, all the shit that you talk, all the bullshit that you stand for. It's more important what you're ready to build, what you're ready to pass down to your children, what you're ready to create. You better fucking remember that. And when you challenge a motherfucker like me, remember, I'm the dominant species. I'm stuck inside the future, and life is chaotic. The government is psychotically racist and robotic. The matrix of entrapment is socio-economic. Neurotic conspiracy theory becomes reality. Life is war, and every day's a battle to me.
When I made parole, I had $17 and everything else that I owned in the world in a garbage bag. 3 weeks after I was out, I was on stage battling.
Everyone now the flyers like, oh, we're performing for A&Rs, and I would get up there and be like, yeah, you know, I'm here to say fuck y'all A&R nigga. Yeah, everyone would be like, yo, this dude is crazy, and I just spit my hardest rhyme.
I know the disrespectful nigga, the nigga that would say the foulest shit to get the most reaction, to make your girl cry, to make dudes want to fight. That's the dude I know.
Don't even listen to what he says. Attack the crowd. You know what I mean? If he came with people, attack those people. He came with his girl. Fuck her.
You don't get no pussy at all. Your bitch told me your dick was so small you pee on your balls. Yo, you don't want to brawl? I'm battling a fucking Dominican Neanderthal. I'm the rawest nigga from here to Utah. Eres un desgraciado, mama bicho, hijo de puta. I'll burn you on a stack of Bibles and blaze the Testament. All the Muslims in the crowd know he's Yaku's failed experiment. Motherfucker, you ain't the one. Nigga, you look like Sloth from Goonies' illegitimate son. The only way you win this battle is if I let you. You look like Captain Crunch's overweight nephew. I stepped through an interdimensional portal back to when you were a fetus. Fuck your mom while she's pregnant and crush your skull with my penis. Yo, every whack MC's departed. Your breath smells like a fucking donkey farted. Time's up.
He spoke with authority to a point where it intimidated the opponent. You know what I mean? Because he's like, not only is this dude killing me, but he's yelling at me, yelling at me with this authority, like, yo, easy, man. He wants to really choke me when he says he wants to choke me. He's not just spitting it like that's a clever line.
I battle for higher stakes than money. You know what I mean? I'd be like, look, if I win, you gotta take your shoes off and go home without me. If I win, you gotta buy my album.
When you watch an MC battling off the top of his head, you don't really see where he's really coming from. It's more or less, snapping. Tech goes back to those battles. He made an impact then, but I really didn't take note of him until I heard that CD.
I recorded Volume 1 in pieces at any studio available and raised money working in any job that would hire me. I started selling CDs at battles and in the streets.
Toma esto.
Hey, with that hip hop. Yeah, that's new shit, Immortal Technique.
He started doing joints off of his CD. That was the first time I saw him take command, and I saw his core audience develop, and it was bugged to me. Like, that's when I knew. I was like, yo, I gotta ask this kid to do rock steady, man, because look at this. You know, it was like, oh my God. You know, look at the way these people are in tune to, yo, Tech, do that song, number blah, blah, blah. And I was like, holy shit, it's like that?
He went against the grain so many different aspects that it forced people to listen and take notice on who this man was. It was all about throwing money in the sky. People still on that bullshit. Big cars and shit like that, while the world's crumbling around us.
Dance with the Devil is a story that chronicles how a lust for power can lead to self-destruction. Unless you're willing to stare that in the face, there's really no way to change it.
Right before he pulled the trigger and ended a life, he thought about the cocaine with the platinum and ice, and he felt strong standing along with his new brothers. Cocked the gat to her head and pulled back the shirt cover. But what he saw made him start to cringe and stutter, cause he was staring into the eyes of his own mother.
A long time ago, the white man enslaved our people and locked us in chains and put us away. But now it's no longer the white man doing it to us. It's us doing it to ourselves. That's how slavery works. Even when slavery's gone, you still got people fighting. You know what I mean? The British leave India, but they cut it in half, and they got Pakistan and India there now. Because they don't need to be there no more, because they got them fighting each other. They got the Panthers, they cut them up, and they form the Bloods and the Crips that be killing each other. That's why I tell niggas, dance with the devil. That's that real shit, because we don't understand we raping our own people. That's what the song is about. And I'm telling niggas that as a people, we better than that.
Yeah, we one of God's children that fell from the top. There's no diversity because we're burning in the melting pot. So when the devil wants to dance with you, you better say never, because a dance with the devil might last you forever.
The utmost honor that I could give him was to say, here, leap in front of thousands of people and spit your shit, because I think they need to hear you.
After seeing him destroy shit in Rocksteady Park, which was ill because they tried to shut down the mics after he was done. Legs had to talk some people into letting the show go on because Immortal caused such an uproar with the corporate sponsors that Legs had there that day. Everybody that he stepped to do records with really didn't get it, man. To me, it's like a no-brainer. If he's in a situation where he couldn't get his vinyl out there, I knew I had to step in and give a helping hand. My situation was, if I'm gonna let you distribute Uncle Howie records, what you think about the records I released means nothing to me. Fuck your opinion. It's about what I think. That allowed me to position Immortal where he had to be. That's what it's all about. That's the point of starting a label. It was a pleasure and a vindication to see how well the record sold.
Yeah, nigga. Immortal Technique. Metaphysics.
The reality of the situation is this, and I'm gonna be 100% frank with y'all. The record label does a lot of things for people. It buys them beats, it buys them studio time, it pays for cars, it buys them video spots, it buys them radio play. Let's keep it real. It buys them women, it buys them coke, it buys them weed, it buys them cars, it buys them chains, it buys them watches. And sometimes they even pay for other people to write the verses for you. So all you really did was go in there in the booth and spit a verse that somebody else wrote for you, somebody else designed for you, and you expect to get paid a lot for that? Get the fuck out of here, yo. If you gonna act like a puppet, then don't be mad when somebody put their fucking hand up your ass. I don't have that problem, because I'm nobody's puppet. I control me.
Here's a quotable for every single record exec.
Get your fucking hands out my pocket, nigga, like Malcolm X.
Hypothetically, yeah, so if the industry turned around now and said, we'll give you $1 billion.
Stop.
If you go platinum, it's got nothing to do with luck. It just means that 1 million people are stupid as fuck. Stuck in the underground, a general, it rose to the limit. Without distribution managers, a dealer with gimmick.
Because they're never gonna do that. Never, never, never. You might as well ask God to rain Skittles like in the commercial. That shit ain't never gonna happen.
A&Rs tried jerking me, thinking they call shots. Offered me a deal and a blanket full of smallpox. You're all getting shot, you little fucking treacherous bitches.
If you are trying to make records for the radio, then you're gonna make that bullshit. It's just as simple as that. You're not gonna say what needs to be said. You're not gonna say what you feel. Like Chuck D says, I don't rhyme for the sake of riddling. There's a reason a nigga picks his pen up.
Take it right back from the place we started with Mojo's verse, right after a kid, and I'll run it from there. Yeah, nigga.
Independent music required me to push past self-doubt. It forced me to say, you know what, if you don't do this work, it's never gonna get done. The first time I invited my family to a show, they were the only people there. I performed for handfuls of people before I ever got in front of a crowd of thousands.
We go to shows, be like 20 people. We roll like 5, 6 cars deep to get $200 to divide between 10 niggas.
We made enough money to feed ourselves.
Get one hotel room.
Sometimes you get the floor, sometimes you get the bed.
3 people laid on the bed, the short way, each bed, boom, boom. So you got 6 people laying in 2 beds, people laying in between the beds. That's how we would do for these shows. That's how we would do to get light, man. Wherever there was people willing to hear what we had to do, we was gonna go and mash out. If you willing to just pack a pair of jeans, 3 t-shirts, 4 pairs of drawers, and mash CDs, and just leave your fucking house and not come back till you got knots in your pocket, drive 5, 6 hours. Rock for 50 people. Sleep on the motherfucking floor.
Sleeping in a van, sleeping in a car, sleeping in a fucking plane, sleeping on a boat, sleeping in somebody's house, sleeping in a hostel, sleeping in a bullshit hotel, eating once a day, twice a day maybe.
But at the end of the day, hard work pays off.
Go back to that hunger. If you ain't hungry, dude, get the fuck up out of here.
We come from the school of a KRS-One, where he's the type of motherfucker that will get up on stage anywhere and destroy the fucking building.
Why don't y'all tell us what we can expect from the show tonight, man?
Brutality.
Brutality, man.
Immortal Technique!
I felt that if I was somewhere else simply because of the music I made, then there was nowhere it couldn't take me.
They showed our people as if we were just stargazing at night in these stone temples. We were not stargazing, we were calculating planet alignment. And we decided to figure out methods of irrigation. We were prophesizing the mood of the earth in the future to see where our plants would grow best, where we could feed our families best. What they see when they look at this farm is, oh, there are a bunch of Mexicans with plants growing in the hood, blah, blah, blah. What we see is a cultural landscape. We see an indigenous population, and we see families that don't grow plants, they grow life. They grow sustenance, they grow a future here. When I heard about this place, I said, you know what, I have to come down here and see the farm myself. I knew that I had a loyal fan base in the area, and that if I alerted them to this, they would be the type of people that would follow this, because that's the difference between having supporters and having fans. Having fans means that they just like whatever's on top 40 radio. Supporters will support the movement with or without a person like me there. If I'm gone tomorrow, there will be somebody else. Maybe one of you here. Remember, the most important thing you can learn from school is how to learn whatever you want to know in life. Any one of you motherfuckers could be 10 times more revolutionary than me. One of you needs to step the fuck up. One of you strong sisters. Women aren't just beautiful, they strong, they intelligent, they powerful. Women gave birth to revolution, motherfucker.
Estaban más en la educación y nos importaba más que tú llegaras a lograr a hacer algo más para que el mundo fuera un mundo más justo. Y creo que siempre has logrado hacer impacto por donde has ido.
I can't bend the bars to release somebody from prison. One of y'all go to school, become a lawyer. You can help somebody get the fuck out of jail. I could write a beautiful song about somebody's death and write them the poem after they die. If you become a doctor, you can save their motherfucking life. I want everybody to put your motherfucking fist in the air. I want everybody to do me a big favor because you don't need to prove nothing to me. Everybody turn around and face the other way. Face to the world, for our people need this. Repeat after me. Viva la revolución! Viva la revolución! Viva la revolución!
Most of my Latino and black people who are struggling to get food, clothes, and shelter in the hood are so concerned with that philosophizing about freedom and socialist democracy is usually, unfortunately, beyond their rationale. They don't realize that America can't exist without separating them from their identity. Because if we had some sense of who we really are, there's no way in hell we'd allow this country to push its genocidal consensus on our homelands. Latino America is a huge colony of countries whose presidents are cowards in the face of economic imperialism. You see, third world countries are rich places, abundant in resources, and many of these countries have the capacity to feed their starving people and the children we always see digging for food and trash on commercials. But plutocracies, in other words, a government run by the rich, such as this one, and traditionally oppressive European states, force the third world into buying overpriced, unnecessary goods while exporting huge portions of their natural resources. I'm quite sure that people will look upon my attitude and sentiments and look for hypocrisy and hatred in my words. But my revolution is born out of love for my people, not hatred for others.
And black and Latino people were colonized by racism. The idea that we were less than white people as human beings. We were colonized by religion. We were told that this white Jesus was greater than our God. You know, we had lovely people that are called missionaries. They go around the world and tell us, your savage God is nothing. And then we were colonized by our relationship with our women, because in most indigenous societies and African societies, they manage money. They manage the household. They manage the income and the economy. And we were colonized by our economic structure itself. We used to live in communes. If we were colonized by these 5 things, what I realize is that we can never free ourselves with just one. If we do have a strong economic base as a people, and we do have a strong political base, if we do have a strong relationship with our women, we take all these things, we put them together, we talk about our culture, then we really have a revolution. Then we really have a way to fight.
I never make songs to disrespect women or to judge people about the way that they living, but the way I am is based on the life I was given. Like them white boys losing my religion. I used to be a Christian and a political pawn. The Bible is right and all your native culture is wrong. Next thing you know, you telling me about making a song. Come in the studio and tell me that I'm making it wrong. Pissed off cause reality is making it strong.
You can't love folk and see them treated unfairly and not be full of anger. It's like loving your mama. Somebody talking about her, try to violate her, we're going to get very angry, goddamn. You see what I mean? And we ought to be. But if you don't have the love, you're going to have anger.
It's the Gong Show, amateur night at the Apollo. My dick is like my music, but harder to swallow. So children follow me like the Pied Piper and sing the chorus in the air with your blood and your lighter. Sing that shit, nigga, right now.
Ignorance does not have a time limit, don't have no age bracket. That you are not an elder just because you're older than someone who's younger. An elder implies knowledge. You could just be an old, ignorant motherfucker that's so bitter that you never decided to learn something outside your own sphere and listen to people that are younger than you, because each one teach one. You know what I mean? We need each other to become smarter, because I haven't experienced, the system the way somebody else had. I did my time differently. I experienced life differently. I fought my battles differently. I went to war differently. I viewed myself differently. I grew differently.
Your fans have been waiting for, you realize your fans have been waiting 4 years.
Yes, sir.
And you're not some rapper that's like, 4 years ago, you dropped the album, now you're trying to come back.
7 years ago.
Like, you tour. Like, tell them, what I'm saying? Like, what's your touring like?
I probably tour on the average, maybe like 100, 150 days a year, try to stay on the road like that.
Traveling is what really puts it in you, man. Once you start to travel and you start to see the world, you just grow. You just grow. I used to take gangbangers from LA across country, you know, around the world. They come back home totally different.
Used to run around getting my fight in the streets on. Back in the day, before Harlem had a green zone. What good is a good education with no direction? Like the right to vote with no one to vote for in an election.
Before we start the show, I got a special message for the President of Denmark. Stop being George Bush's bitch and get the fuck out of Iraq. El espíritu de hip hop está vivo en Madrid esta noche. Vivo por todo el mundo. What's up? Oh. Drinking champions. Hey, thank you, sir.
Good luck with it, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you. Why you left that Henny on the plane, man? You wildin', man. Out here conquering Europe, you know? Like the Moors.
I want everybody here, whether you black, whether you white, whether you brown, wherever the fuck you come from, whatever religion, I want y'all to let everybody in the world know that Amsterdam is live by putting a fist up.
When I first started going to Amsterdam, London, it dawned on me, wow, I'm in a foreign country just because people have been able to download my music and they feel a certain sense of identification with what I'm talking about. There's something very humbling about that.
Hustling is making sure that even the people that don't know who you are buy your CDs. And it ain't about money, but come on, man, you know? We independent in this. When you hang around with people that make things happen on their own, it rubs off, and then you don't want anybody to do anything for you.
We was talking one day at the studio, you get a pretty penny for performances. You know what I'm saying? You're not one of these dudes that wears your wealth. And I was like, what you doing with your money, dog?
I bought a farm in South America. Long ways from Harlem, huh? Down there, all the food that doesn't pass inspection is kept back in South America, and everything that does pass inspection gets sent to Europe and America. All of their resources are being taken by these corporations and thrown out the same way the major labels do to the underground, which is the third world.
The hood is not stupid, we know the mathematics. I made double what I would going gold on Atlantic. Cause EMI, Sony, BMG, in a scope would never sign a rapper with the White House in a scope. They push pop music like a religion. Anorexic, celebrity driven, financial fantasy fiction.
You're making money from selling music.
Right.
You talk about capitalism, but yet you're still living in a capitalist experiment.
No, but the thing is, but in a capitalist society, if you're not making money, you die. You starve. What folk want you to do? How you gonna do it? Capitalism is ubiquitous, man. And there's no way around it. Anybody outside of capitalism is broke as the Ten Commandments. Financially, they ain't got nothing. Everybody got to have something in order to feed yourself and your kids and your mama and everything, which means you got to get a job. Every job you have going to be compromised. There's dirty hands throughout the whole system. You see, so the question then becomes, well, can I have a platform where I can still be me, tell my truth, and make some money so I can take care of my loved ones? Even when you have control over your own production thing, you got to have some contract with a distribution system.
Got to go to a pressing plant.
Absolutely.
Master the stuff.
You
have to go to to radio to get it all out. It's part of the machine whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not, it's like being a fish in water.
But how do you escape the influence of the machine being born
Well,
into
the thing is that you never escape the influence. You have to minimize the worst of it. As long as people are in the system, you have examples of resistance. You have examples of resilience. You have examples of creatively working through.
Yo he visto que la cultura de hip hop está creciendo acá. Rap en español está creciendo por todo el mundo.
Hip hop en Estados Unidos no es que está muerto, es que vive en una ocupación. Y hay una fuerza guerrillera underground que no quiere conformar a un sistema que ellos quieren que nosotros hablamos de. Y sin independencia económica no tienes independencia política.
Ha sido un honor estar aquí con ustedes. Acuérdate, mira. No me importa una mierda si roba la música mía por el internet. Róbatelo, carajo. La música debe ser libre. Grita para el cielo si tienes amor para la cultura de hip hop acá en Colombia.
I'm very proud of the brother for being able to find something in life that allows him to be a wild motherfucker, but also be productive.
Turn it up! Turn it up!
Please make some noise for the one and only Peruvian Inca, Immortal Technique!
How could this be the land of the free, home of the brave, indigenous Holocaust, and the home of the slaves? Corporate America dancing offbeat to the rhythm. You really think this country never sponsored terrorism? Human rights violations, we continue the saga. El Salvador and the Contras in Nicaragua. And on top of that, they still want to take us to prison just because we won't trade our humanity for patriotism. Make some noise, gathering.
Yeah. Se ha acabado la mierda. I'm about to drop a death cut. Yo. Immortal Technique disintegrates mics when I spit. I cause more casualties than sunken slave ships. Full to capacity, I bring tragedy to rap without my man Gaddafi. The government took Nazi scientists from Germany to design nuclear rockets and ways of observing me. Cause their pathetic attempts didn't work to murder me. When this country was conceived, these bastards never heard of me. But now I hold the souls of slave masters eternally.
I rock for the war, but I rock for the peace. And you know how I spray them, but I'll leave y'all motherfuckers and say assalamu alaikum.
You know, in order to really be successful and to really test your art, you got to take it on stage around the world. You have to carry the cross.
Yo, the speakers in hip-hop, music can never stop. Internationally, we on top. Yo, they can never stop us or call a cop. We say fuck them every time we get a chance. Stop, pause a statement, bust it, I do this. Yo, freeing my people every time we get into this music.
Tell them we came here to perform at the Boulevard Festival, but we wanted to see what the real Morocco was like. Ask them if they listen to hip hop out here. Hip-hop is universal.
Me and the squadron of hardcore Moroccans make sick shit in the lab like biochemical toxins. Rocko hip-hop.
It's very important that we really know how we can get our point of view across to the world. And that's the next step for the rap and hip-hop nation. There's always some place that we can get in and fit in. So that's why I like to try to spread over the next 10, 15 years.
I'm going to start right off the TOP with the one and only amazing Immortal Technique in the house. Welcome, sir.
What's up, brother? How you doing, Chuck? Honored to be here, man.
Where do we begin, bro? I mean, really, seriously, you symbolize the voice of truth all around the world in the name of rap music and hip-hop. Because if you go on rap, you see something, say something, right?
Music I have is very like...
میگم موظف باشین که بعد میخوانم بسیار رقمی خطا نشین.
I'm a rapper, I do hip-hop.
رپ میخوانم.
Alright, check. Listen. I'm from where the golden diamonds are ripped from the earth, right next to the slave castles where the water is cursed, from where police brutality's not half as nice. It makes the hood in America look like paradise compared to the AIDS-infested Caribbean slum African streets where the passport's an American gun. Omaid International contacted me at the Rock the Bells concert. I talked to a young lady by the name of Shamsia.
He was out to sign autographs. I went up in line and said that we have an organization that's helping orphans in Afghanistan and if he would be interested in helping us.
I'm from where they cut your hands off if you make a fist. And niggas grow coca, cause the job market doesn't exist except slave labor, modern day company store. And peacekeepers don't ever come here no more. I'm from where the bombs that they used to drop on Vietnam still has children born deformed 8 months before they gone. I'm from where they lost the true meaning of the Quran, cause heroin is not compatible with Islam. And niggas know that but grow that poppy seed anyway, cause that food drop parachute does not come every day. I'm from where people pray to the God till they conquerors, and practically every president's a money launderer. From where the only place democracy's acceptable is if America's candidate is electable. And they might even have a black president, but he's useless, cause he does not control the economy, stupid. Lock and load your gun where I'm from, the third world, son. Just thought I'd remind you. Tell them putting your fist up is a sign of freedom in America, freedom against oppression. Libertad. Kabul. Wardak.
You see your picture of Peru?
Where? Oh yeah, that is. Yeah. That's where I'm from. Tell her that's the country I'm from.
You're not from
How do you say we're mountain people too?
بازم میگم ما مردم کوهستیم.
The so-called third world countries might all speak different languages, but our struggles are very much the same. We've experienced war, genocide, revolution, occupation, and our roots are based in some of the greatest civilizations. Our stories of colonization sound so similar that sometimes they even make the streets look the same.
When I began to learn and understand things about the world, I was set free. The more they learn and the more they read, they can set themselves free rather than relying on someone else to come set them free. If they can come from here, then the rest of the world will seem very easy. Tell them that I wish them very well in everything that they do. If democracy in the minds of American people is voting once every 4 years, then we're really fucked. It's the institutions that are set up by a democracy that guarantee a democracy.
Media censorship, blocking out the video screens. A continent of oil kingdoms, bought for a bargain. Democracy is just a word when the people are starving. The average citizen made to be blind to the reason. A desert full of genocide where the bodies are freezing and the world doesn't believe that you're fighting for freedom. Cause you fucked the Middle East and gave birth to a demon. It's open season with the CIA bugging my crib, trapped in the ghetto region like a Palestinian kid, where nobody gives a fuck whether you die or you live.
A good friend of mine burned me a copy of Revolutionary Volume 2. On the CD, he wrote, listen to track number 10. And track number 10 was the fourth branch. So I got in my car and I put that track on. And I was so affected by that song that I kept driving around my neighborhood for probably like another half hour, just like listening to it over and over again.
When I first met Shamsia and the people of Omaid International, I saw how committed they were. That's what eventually led to the creation of the Amin Institute.
Some
grass.
Yeah, have like gardening projects for them. It's a really big yard.
Opening day is not for 10 days, and now we just gotta get the kids. How you doing? Salam. Salam alaikum.
There was just so much devastation and so many different problems that needed to be addressed there. We thought the most obvious way was to help children. Sometimes it's hard to reach adults because they've already been through so much, but if you can start at the root level, then you might be able to have some level of success. The way society is trying to come out of that wartime mentality and economy and everything really makes projects like this difficult to get off of the ground. There's a crazy security situation, checkpoints everywhere, and soldiers, and all kinds of kidnappings and things like that going on that we had to think about besides this mountain of work that we had to do. But myself, my group, and Technique agreed that us not going and postponing this would only add to the insecurity. Us going there and having to take that risk would be a part of creating a more secure situation and allowing for the reconstruction to happen.
We're in Kabul right now, picking out a carpet for the floor of the entire household where the children will be staying. What do you say?
Where we was last night?
Last night?
Yeah.
Oh, last night we went out to the kebab spot. Then I went to a little bazaar, and then underground in the area.
It's not good, it's not safe. I'm worried about the safety. I lost about 2 friends.
2 friends?
Yeah. They find you over there, they look, come and find you where to live. Nighttime come and pick you up, nobody knows.
Right.
Please.
People follow people around here a lot?
Oh yeah. Especially if they know you're in America, forget it.
I ran out of
Really dangerous. Do you think anybody goes to Jalalabad? It's not easy.
I know.
Find your friend. If anybody take over there, give him 10,000. No, really.
Bin Laden's old hiding ground, right there. You'll see that there is a house that's intact, and then next to it is a house that is only half a house. We've attracted a lot of local attention. We're on the move. Show him that he can see himself in this.
नहीं करो अच्छा यार
Boys will be boys no matter what country you're in. Go ahead and let him know. No. Help him up.
No crying, no crying, no crying. Strong, 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 strong. Afghanistan. Afghanistan. How do you say? He has to be strong to show the world that Afghanistan is strong. Tell him he has to be strong. He has to be strong, tough. Tell him, hold on. See if I have something. Here, give you this. Metro card.
Is revolution possible without violence?
بدون شورش هم مرگوم میشه. انقلابی نیست که ما شورش بکنیم، مظاهره بکنیم. انقلاب فکری است. انقلاب اندیشه‌ای است. ما باید در اندیشه ها انقلاب کنیم. هرگاه اندیشه ها تغییر کرد، جامعه تغییر میکنه.
Ask him what he was doing during the Taliban regime. Was he studying here or was he...
دوران طالبان شما چی می‌کردید؟ اینجا درس می‌خوندید؟ دوران طالبان من خودم در خط مقاومت بودم، امروی طالبان جمع می‌کردم.
You don't bring people freedom. You find it among them. And working in that fashion is the way that you free your mind.
Some of these don't exactly fit, but we're making it fit, so it's a mission. You can smell it in the air. You can see it in the people's eyes. They know the price of revolution. In 1,000 years, we're going to be judged based upon what we partook in here. Not the United States of America, but us as a species.
Cold War's over, but the world is still getting colder. Atlas walking through the projects with the hood on my shoulders. I would like to raise my children to grow to be soldiers, but then the general would decide when their life would be over. So I work hard until my personality splits, like the Black Panthers into the Bloods and the Crips. They said I'd never be shit, but now I sit and reminisce like Yeshua, Ben Yosef, flipping through Genesis. Ignorance is venomous and it murders the soul, spreading like a virus, running rampant out of control. So if I should ever fall and get caught in the hustle, let them know that I died while I fought in the struggle. From the hood rats to rich kids lost in a bubble, sprayed painted on the streets and in the subway titles. Write it down and remember that we never gave in. The mind of a child is where the revolution begins. So if the solution has never been to look in yourself, how is it that you expect to find it anywhere else? Panjshir, Afghanistan, Immortal Technique, motherfucker. That's what it is.
Thank you. یک موسیقی به نام رپ میگن این موسیقی رپ.
از چی میترسی در دنیا زیاد؟
در دنیا زیاد یعنی از همین چی که بم که میمانند مردم زیاد.
در آینده چی وظیفه میخوای؟
در آینده میخوایم که دکتری انجینری شم.
با چرا؟
به وطن خدا آباد کنم چشه.
آرزویم دکتر.
دکتر چرا؟
به خاطر که به وطنهای خود کمک کنم. میخوایم دیگه وزیر شم که به وطنهای خود کمک کنم.
Let's see what this kid's doing. All right, everybody, let's do it. Let's do it. You ready? You two. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess they picked the playroom. Underground hip hop money. No corporate sponsors here. Oh yeah? What if I just go? want to bring someone on stage who has been a personal inspiration to me, my good friend Shamsiel from Omade International. We were in Afghanistan together, and we saw a group of young girls walking by, and they were on their way to school. And I remember she said, you know what, that's a revolutionary sight. During the reign of the Taliban, they wouldn't have been allowed to go to school, which does more for anything than spending billions of dollars to bomb people into fucking oblivion when we don't even understand their culture. I appreciate each and every one of you that has come here tonight. People's lives have been saved. It was just the power of underground hip-hop, the voice of the people, the strength of the streets. That's what made the motherfucking difference.
Mi nombre Fredesvinda Jiménez Blanco. Nací en el año 1914. Nací aquí en esta casa. Esta casa tiene 100 años. Tenía mi mamá comercio, vendía de todo, arroz, azúcar, todo era una pulpería que tenían acá. It's okay. Very good.
No necesitas ayuda ni nada, ¿no?
Ay, no, felizmente hasta ahora con mis 95 años todavía no necesito ayuda. ¿Qué te parece? ¿Está bien la vieja?
Está fuerte.
Estoy fuerte, ¿eh?
¿Qué pensaste cuando yo primero le hablé de mi mamá a regresar acá a comprar tierra?
Oye, me encantó mucho, porque dije, es una cosa como que revivía mi antepasado de mis abuelos. No es que mi abuelo tenía bastantes tierras, ¿no? Y mi padre también, su ideal eran sus tierras y era feliz. Entonces, cuando tú hiciste eso, dije, pero ¿cómo la familia, algo, jala de los antepasados? La tierra es una vida de uno. Es una cosa que uno quiere a su tierra, su suelo.
It inspires me to think about an actual future. When there was a time when I didn't know if I had a future. It reminds me of how far I've come and how far I need to go.